Our penultimate speaker is Erin Jackson-Hale, second to last. She is a lifelong Alaskan, currently serving as Executive Director for Alaskans Take a Stand. She has been working as an organizer for the past 3 years on issues like health care and homelessness.
Hi, everybody. My name is Erin Jackson, and I'm here to say I love Alaska. Do you love Alaska? Yeah. Wait, no, do you love Alaska? Yeah. I feel kind of bad. I want to claim that name, Mita. In the meantime, my nickname is Bippy. You can call me that if you want to. My family has lived in Alaska for over 60 years. I attended Wonder Park, Windler Junior High, and East High School, where the cool go to school. That's right. This is my home. Anchorage is my village, and I love the people of this amazing state. And because I love it, I feel really comfortable telling you, my friends and neighbors, that we have some work to do. This country is not living up to the marketing materials, especially for women and people of color. Change is necessary, and the time for honest introspection is here. The people we send to Washington and even to Juneau need to remember they exist because of the people, and it appears as if the women in this room are going to have to remind them. We, meaning the women in this room and our allies, are going to have to be the ones to drive the changes we need to thrive as a community. So now I'm going to ask you to indulge me. The ask is going to seem a little weird, and maybe even slightly uncomfortable, but it's an interesting, quick experiment on strengthening communal bonds. Close your eyes. I see you, close your eyes. Then take a deep breath, open your eyes, and lock eyes with somebody close to you. Keep your eyes locked and tell that person, I see you. Repeat it one more time. Know that you see that person and you're in community with that person. I know it's weird, but it's honestly a way to create connection, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of weird that in this little village we call Anchorage, that we have become so disconnected that at times I question what it means to be an Alaskan. As I drive up 3rd Avenue and see the homeless camp spill out of Brother Francis shelter and onto the side streets, I've asked myself, am I here to be selfish and grab everything I can take? Or do I care enough about my fellow Alaskans to take a stand? Do I care about others enough to make this community better, not just for me and my family, but for everyone? But there are real fractures in our country and our community, and there's a deep sense of mistrust, and I often wonder, how do we bridge the divide? It's easy to get lost in the politics and the policy on all the issues that plague us as a community. Homelessness, lack of access to health care, domestic violence, addiction. There is seemingly no end to the ills of society. But if you stop and examine your heart, the answer is simple. And former presidential candidate Kamala Harris said it best when she said justice is on the ballot. She was right when she said justice is on the ballot in 2020. Economic, environmental, social, and racial justice. These are the 4 areas where our little nonprofit will focus on. Economic justice in Alaska should apply to those in need as well as the oil companies. We should all kick in according to our ability. To those, much is given, much is required. Environmental justice is imperative for both subsistence hunters and mining companies. We must find a way to harness the amazing resources of this state in novel and eco-friendly ways, while allowing historical and cultural ties to the land to remain in place. Social justice should work for the abuser and the abused, which means we must upend the patriarchy and empower women to bring balance back into our society. The final tenet of Alaskans Take a Stand mission is racial justice. White supremacy is alive and well in Alaska. It's insidious and destructive to the oppressor as well as the oppressed. At a recent conference I attended, white supremacy was explained to be much like an iceberg. 9/10 is below the surface, and you can't see it. The top of the iceberg is easy to see. Ugly, racist roadside signs in the valley, and I've seen them with my own eyes. To the Confederate flag on the truck next to you, there is overt racism in Alaska. But in some ways, that type of racism is easy to deal with. You can see it. You know that that belief system comes from a deep well of ignorance, and in some cases, you can almost feel pity for people that are so misguided. It is a racism that is under the surface, using the iceberg analysis, that is much harder to deal with. In the book White Fragility, author Robin DiAngelo points out that white folks live without the race-based stress that people of color deal with on a regular basis. This stress, along with cultural bias, leads to greater infant mortality, inability to thrive, and lower life expectancy for people of color. It is time to move away from the thought that the whiter white culture is normative and that people of color need to assimilate. According to DiAngelo, in a racist society, the desired direction is always toward whiteness and away from a person of color. However, we are Alaskans and we take pride in our diversity. We, Mita and I, are a perfect example. Mita is an indigenous healer who is inordinately fond of tending plants and cleaning fish. I, on the other hand, enjoy shopping and say quite plainly that the fun ends at the pavement. She is Tlingit and I am black. She has 8 kids, yikes, and I have none. I said 8 kids, that's right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoa. But what we have in common is stronger than any singular attribute. We are Alaskan women, taking a stand for economic, environmental, social, and racial justice. And I want to know, are you with us? Yes. Today, we, Mita and I, are making a promise to stand with you. Today, we stand with the homeless people on 3rd Avenue. Today, we stand up for clean energy sources that will power our way through the next decade and beyond. Today, we stand with the kindergartner that is already behind her classmates because English is her second language. Today, we stand with women across Alaska that by sheer force of our collective will make our state live up to its boundless potential. 2020 is our year to turn away from the issues that divide and turn toward those that bind. I will leave you with an old African proverb that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We've got a long way to go, so we better get it together. Finally, I leave you with this. Lisa Murkowski has come out in support of the Equal Pay Bill, but Dan Sullivan hasn't. We are constantly targeting Lisa Murkowski to change her mind while Dan Sullivan just kind of floats. Please contact his office and let him know that we demand equal rights for women across America. Thank you so much.